Welcome to ANS Solver question 1 of this paper. So they are asking us to work out the total mass of the train, and they are telling us that the mass of the locomotive is 87 grams and the mass of each coach is 52 grams. And they are telling us that a train consists of one locomotive and four coaches. So one locomotive, as they said, weighs 87 grams, and one coach weighs 52 grams. So four coaches would weigh 4 multiplied by 52 grams. So therefore your final answer, or your total mass of the train, would be equal to 4 multiplied by 52, which is 208, plus 87, which is 295. So 295 grams will be your final answer for part A1. Now let's move to part A2, where they are asking us to work out the mass of the locomotive as a percentage of the total mass of the train. Okay, so the mass of the locomotive is 87 grams, and the mass of the total mass of the train is 295 grams. So they are telling us to work out the percentage of this. So all we need to do is multiply by 100. So now all you need to do is input this into your calculator. So 87 divided by 295 multiplied by 100. So therefore your final answer for part A2 will be 29.491525. And therefore, since you need to give your answer in three significant figures, your final answer would be 29.5%, because the fourth significant figure, which is 9 in this case, is greater than equal to 5, so it will round off the 4 to the next number. So therefore 29.5 will be your final answer for part A2. Now let's move to part B. So for part B, they are asking us to calculate the length of the train. Now the formula for calculating distance is speed multiplied by time. So 18 multiplied by 4, because they are telling us that the train that is 61 centimeters long travels at a speed of 18 centimeters per second, that is the speed, and they are telling us it takes 4 seconds for the whole of the train to cross the bridge. So therefore the time, which is 4 seconds, and the speed, which is 18 centimeters per second. Now this would be the length of the bridge plus the train, because we are using the speed of the train and we are using the amount of time the train takes to cross the bridge. Therefore we have to minus the length of the train from this entire distance to calculate the length of the bridge, because 18 multiplied by 4 is actually the length of the bridge plus the length of the train. Therefore if we minus the length of the train, we will get the length of the bridge. So 18 multiplied by 4, which is 72, minus 61, which is 11 centimeters. And therefore 11 centimeters will be your final answer for part B of this question. Now let's move to part C. So for part C, they are telling us a new locomotive costs $64, and they've given us the exchange rate, that is 1 rupee is equal to 0.0154 dollars. Now we know that a new locomotive costs $64, so they are telling us to calculate the cost of the locomotive in rupees. Okay, so in rupees, what you need to do is, since we'll keep the rupee value as x, so now all we need to do is cross multiply. So therefore 64 multiplied by 1 divided by 0.0154 will be equal to x. So therefore your final answer for part C would be 64 multiplied by 1, which is 64, divided by 0.0154. And therefore your final answer, or you'll get your answer in rupees, which is 4155.84415. And since they are asking us to give the answer to the nearest 10 rupees, you will round off the answer to 4150, because the ones place is greater than equal to 5, so it will round off the tens place to the next number. Therefore your final answer will be 4150 rupees for part C of this question. Now Let's move on to part D of the question. So for part D, they are asking us, or they are telling us that the cost of the railway magazine increases by 12% to 2.7. So we can say that 2.7, my bad. We can say that 2.7 is actually 112.5 out of 100, because they are saying that 2.7 is a 12.5% increase. So a 12.5% increase would be 112 divided by 100. So we have to calculate the original price, which would be 100 out of 100. That would be the original price. It would be 100 out of 100, not 112 out of 100. So therefore we cross multiply this now. So it would be 2.7 multiplied by 100, which is 270, divided by 112.5, which is equal to x. Therefore x would be equal to, you just need to put this in your calculator, so 270 divided by 112.5, which is equal to $2.4 or $2.4. So that would be your final answer for part D of this question. Now let's move to part E of the question, where they are telling us that Dhanu plays with his model railway for from 650, that is 6:50 in the morning, to 11:15 in the morning. He then rides his bicycle for 3 hours. Find the ratio time playing between model railway is to time riding bicycle, and give your answer in its simplest form. Okay, so let's calculate the time he plays with the railway model first. So from 6:50 to 11:15, that would be 4 hours and 25 minutes. 4 hours and 25 minutes. Okay, so now let's convert this into a mixed fraction so we can compare it with 3 hours. So 24 hours, so 4 whole, and 25 minutes. So in an hour there are 60 minutes, so we can say 4 whole 25 by 60 is to 3 hours or 3 whole. Now all we need to do is, you can convert 4 whole 25 into a mixed fraction. So 4 whole 25 by 60 into a mixed fraction would be 60 multiplied by 4 plus 25, that would be 265, divided by 60, and the simplified form of that fraction would be 53 by 12. And since we have to find the ratio between the two time playing model railway and time riding bicycle, we will divide this fraction by the time riding the bicycle, which is 3 hours. So divided by 3, and therefore you will get the answer as 53 divided by 36, and therefore your new ratio would be 53 is to 36. Therefore this will be your final answer for part E, that is 53 divided by 36. Now let's move to part F. So in part F they are asking us to calculate the value R, and this is clearly a compound interest question. So the formula for compound interest is equal to amount is equal to principal multiplied by 1 plus R by 100 raised to the time, or the number of years. So they are telling us that the amount in this case is $736, because they tell us at the end of 5 years the value will be this much, is equal to, they are telling us the value of Dhanu's model railway is $550, that is the current value. So 550 multiplied by 1 plus R by 100, because we need to find R, so we leave R as it is, as a variable, and raised to t, that is the number of years, and they are telling us that the end of 5 years, so raised to 5. Now first let's take 550 to the other side of the equation, so it will be 1 plus r by 100 whole thing raised to 5 is equal to 736 divided by 550, which is equal to 1.33818181. Now let's take the 5 to the other side. Now when you take an exponent to the other side of the equation, it becomes the root of that exponent. So in this case, since it's 5 or raised to 5, it would become the fifth root of the particular number that is there on the other side of the equation. So the fifth root of 1.3381818181 is equal to 1.05999. Now if we take the 1 to the other side, it will become r divided by 100 is equal to 1.05999 minus 1. So if you minus 1, you will get 0.05999, and therefore r will be equal to 5.999, and if we round it off, r will be equal to 6%. Therefore 6% will be our final answer for part F of this question.